Hello book buddies, we are at our hotel and I am absolutely dead beat, tired. We left this morning around 2, only made a couple stops here and there for gas. One time we stopped at Burger King for lunch and it is around 11 a.m. and we are in the hotel room. And I just love that picture, isn't that so cool? It's so pretty. I did not bring my tripod, I just didn't want the hassle of packing it, so I'm just holding the phone, so it'll be a little bit more awkward, but we're just gonna go with it. So, Springtime in Surrey, I read a little bit. I'm at 18%. How well you can see that. It's really tiny print because it's an EPUB, or I think, no, it's a PDF actually. It was entirely too dark to read all the lost places without a reading light, and I just was not up for that. So I was bad, and I was scanning my Kindle for something other to read. So I started reading Live and Let Chai, a beachfront cozy mystery, and this is book 1 of the Seaside Cafe Mysteries by Bree Baker, new to me author. I got 4% of the way in. It's pretty good. I've read a few cozy mysteries, and usually they start out, you know, like where a person is moving in to a new town, reconnecting with one of their hometowns. But this one starts where the lady already has like a tea, a sweet iced tea, sweet tea shop on the beach. So it was different. I haven't read one where it like just jumps in, you know, so that's fun. And it's not bad. Kept me awake for a while. And then later on, I did end up reading some of this, like, in the afternoon, which is not even really afternoon yet. I'm on page 97 right now. It's going pretty good. Like I said, it's beautifully written, but it really needs a whole lot of concentration. So the plan is we're going to take naps because, like I said, we're beat. Take naps till around 2. We'll get up at 2, go to Surfside Beach, and hang out for the rest of the night there. Then we're going to go have dinner. We're talking Olive Garden. I don't know, we're going to see. I haven't been there since like elementary school. Like I went one time that I actually remember. And then tomorrow the plan is to get up, go to the Moody Gardens Aquarium. They open at 10, get there, stay. They close at 5, and then come back here, change, and go back to the beach. And then come back here, shower, get cleaned up, and go have dinner somewhere else. So that's the plan. It's only a 2-day stay, very short, and I'm hoping to get a lot of reading in at that time. And so we'll see how that goes. Hello book buddies, it is 8 in the morning on day 2 and we are going to head out here in a bit and go to Moody Gardens Aquarium. So that'll be fun, never been there before. The beach was awesome yesterday. I did not get a sunburn, which is weird. I always burn, so that's good. As for reading on Springtime in Surrey, I'm 24% of the way in. There are 8 stories in this anthology, so I'm almost done with the second one. So I still got a long way of reading ahead of me. And I don't think I've read hardly any in all the lost places. It's just easier to read on the Kindle. So let's go to the aquarium. buddies, so in hindsight I should have posted this video weeks ago, honestly, but I've gotten in the habit of first and third Fridays, and I didn't want to put too much on my plate getting those ready, even though I posted like twice in 2 days. Anyway, the earlier clips you just saw were taken like weeks ago, a few weeks, and we are back from vacation, obviously, and yeah. So anyway, my reading, unfortunately, I did not get any of the 2 books I was reading finished, but I'll go ahead and update you for All the Lost Places, which you were already kind of updated in like the last video where I talked about September's reading challenge. That's why I said I should have posted this video before, way before now. But what can you do? Learn, move on. Anyway, I'm on page 211 in this, so I'm over halfway. It's going good. I actually haven't read this in about a week because I've been reading other stuff. Of late, I'm actually been reading The Springtime in Surrey a lot lately. I'm actually 54% of the way through, which is massive progress. Since this video is so late, I have decided to throw in a book haul. I'm so excited to share my very first one on here. Now, if you go to my blog, link in the description, I've shared dozens of book hauls, both for physical books and ebooks, but this is the first one I'm going to actually film, so I'm excited. So these books were bought actually when I'm filming this today, which is September 10th. It was my mom's birthday, and we celebrated the whole weekend. And today we went to Grapevine Mall, went to BAM, the Books A Million, which is an awesome place. And I got some books. Let me go ahead, and I have a really fun thing too my sister and I are doing. I now have the completed series of House Moving Castle. I got Castle in the Air and House in Many Ways. I'm so excited I now own the complete trilogy. I have House Moving Castle on my bookcase over there, which is now kind of in view, kind of not. What can you do? So I now have the complete set, which I love that. I'm so excited. I've already read these. I read them 2019, I think. Well past a reread, and I really enjoyed them. They were great. I'll leave my Goodreads links, my review on Goodreads if you want to check that out, and I recommend these for fantasy lovers. I found this one super relatable just because the main character was constantly trying just to get away and read. She wanted to be left alone, she wanted to read, and every time she got started there was chaos, some sort of interruption going on. And then I got this, A Night Divided by Jennifer A. Nielsen. I think it's Nielsen. Haven't read this before. I have read a few of her other books. The False Prince by her is amazing. It's one of my favorite reads from 2021, I think. I read 2022. Fantastic read. And it's part of the Ascendant series, which with each book I was reading, I was slowly losing interest. Like, I just didn't want to read them anymore. So I stopped after like book 4 because it was getting to the point where I don't want to read these anymore at all, and I didn't want to continue and then like end up giving them like 2 1-star review because I didn't like it. So I'm gonna have to reread it and read them closer together too. But anyway, she's an awesome author. I love her work. The only book that I have read of hers that I did not like was Iceberg. I read that. I did not like it. The characters totally were a turnoff. It was very frustrating. So I got that. And then my sister, who I love her for this, she said, hey, let's each buy a book for each other and like have like a little blind reading challenge where, you know, I'll pick out yours, you read it, and I picked out hers and she'd read it and see what she did. So I'm excited. I'm going to show you both. First of all, now, I have never read this, I've never heard of it before, so I don't know the content. So if it's definitely not clean and anything, I don't know. But this looked intriguing. Secrets Never Die by Vincent Ralph. Never read anything by him. I don't know anything. The back sounds interesting. It's about secrets, and I'm trying to skim this as I tell you. Blackmailing about secrets. Supposed to be like super fast-paced and lots of twists and intense. So that sounded like my sister. She likes more, you know, like thrillers kind of. She loves horror books. So I thought I'd try this. And she was like, okay. And the one which I gotta give that back to her. And the one she picked out for me, again, I've never read this, didn't even know it existed before today, and I'm not familiar with the author. But The Girl Who Knew Too Much by Tiffany Brooks. And this is, my sister picked this one out for me because it sounded like a modern Lord of the Flies, which I've read that. Actually, I was reading that with my sister, and it was intense. I'd read it before for school. Deserted on a tropical island with 19 other teens competing for money. Chaos ensues. After that, we stopped at Cracker Barrel for lunch. Ooh, they have their Halloween stuff out, and I saw this. Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Other Short Stories by Washington Irving. It has Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Rip Van Winkle, The Spectre Bridegroom, and The Devil and Tom Walker. Never heard of those last two, but I wanted to read Rip Van Winkle for like the longest time, so I'm excited. Can't wait to read that for like Halloween. I almost forgot to tell you about it. Another book shopping thing I went. It was a few days ago. Went to Half Price Books and I bought 2 books. So let me go ahead and show them to you. First one I got is this, Johnny Tremaine by Esther Forbes, I think, and it's the Revolutionary War. Yeah, this is actually was made into a Disney movie, and I haven't mentioned this on here yet, but I love reading books like that have been made into Disney movies, and I'm not talking like the new stuff. I'm talking like the 60s, 70s live action. Moon Spinners and Third Man on the Mountain, which is Banner in the Sky. So good. Guys, you need to read that. It's so good. I love those movies because I think that's when Disney was good. So I've been wanting to read this. Actually, I tried to read it a couple years back. Library wanted their copy back before I was ready to give it back. I never got back to it, but now I own my own copy, so I'm stoked. Sled Dog School by Terry Lynn Johnson. Johnson is one of my new favorite authors that I've discovered earlier this year. She does all kinds of books about dog sledding and like sled racing and just that kind of thing. Call the Wild, White Fang. I love that, you know, the wild, the Yukon, that aesthetic. Love that. And so I've been reading her books, and I have read Dog Driven, which has my favorite by her. I think I gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. And then I read Ice Dogs, which was not as awesome, but it was still really, really good. And I think I gave it like 4 stars. I'm going to read this now. Not like now, but eventually. And I'm excited. This actually seems like more of a middle grade, like a lower grade, just by looking at how huge the font is, and like I'll show you. It's like things like this that kind of take up more pages, so it has that kind of thing to it, so I'm intrigued. I highly recommend checking out Terry Lynn Johnson if you like Jack London's work, if you like wintry Alaskan Yukon settings, like that winteriness. Dog sledding, if you like survival, being stranded out in the middle of this frozen terrain and like, well, hope we make it kind of thing, you need to read these. They're so good. And they're clean, no language or nothing. I love that. So those are the 2 books I bought. And then I also bought 2 new bookmarks to add to my collection. I got this one. It's backward. Well, it's backwards to me. Disturb Me While I'm Reading and See What Happens. I love the colors on that. And this other one I got is The White Rabbit, Alice in Wonderland. I figure I can use this when I'm reading the Wonderland Trials. One of these days I'm going to show you my extensive bookmark collection. I love bookmarks, and I love matching the bookmarks with books like this. I said I'll use this when I read Alice in Wonderland. That's the kind of thing this is more like generic. I can use this for anything, but yeah, so one of these days I want to show you my collection. It's massive and I love it so much. And that is my book haul. That's what we got to work with, and I'm very excited. And with that, I'm going to close this up. So until next time, happy reading.